Hey, what's up guys? BJ Dell back with a new Wednesday weekly art challenge video. If you guys are new to the channel and don't know how this works, every Wednesday I post one of these videos and give you guys a weekly art challenge word. You make a drawing, make a design, and then you post that over on the Facebook group that I started. It's called Keep Creating, a Learn, Draw, Share art community. The link is in the description below. And then I pick 4 or 5 of those designs for the following week's video and show those off as a little mini art critique. Last week's word was possum, so let's see what you guys came up with. All right guys, so let's go ahead and jump into today's video all about the word prompt possum. And the first one up this week is from Tara, and I absolutely love this design just because it's so freaking adorable. To be honest with you guys, this year I focused a lot less on client work and I focused more on doing designs for myself that I can market and sell. And this is the type of design that I would make just because it's so cute and it really appeals to that mass market. It was funny when I posted the word prompt possum in the group, a lot of people responded with, I don't know if I can do this. Possums are weird. They creep me out. And I think Tara found a way to take something that's weird and turn it around and make it adorable. And she was able to do that by making, big eyes here, which are really appealing. Of course, possums have those really creepy, beady eyes. So by making big eyes here, that really adds to the cuteness factor. And then I love the shape that she did with the body. This kind of dynamic hanging shape to the body really works. It really draws the viewer in, and it just adds to that overall cuteness of the design. The line works really good, shadows and highlights and everything like that. The thing I really want to talk the most about though is what I love is this tail wrapped around the branch. So this can be used in so many different ways from a design perspective. I would probably, if I was doing this design, I would have the branch on a separate layer so that I could remove it and then be able to tie in the way the tail wraps around to more of the design. So let's say I was doing a shirt that says I love possums. And of course, this is kind of more towards the top, but let's say I love possums up here. And what you could do is for the S of possums here, if you did like a calligraphy style and had the tail of the S trail off like this, you could actually wrap that tail around the tail of the S. So it actually ties in the design to the text. That's one thing I try to do a lot. It makes it nice because it doesn't look like you just took clip art and slammed it onto a canvas along with some words, that the viewer sees that, okay, you actually took some effort there and you tied them in together, and it really sells well and it really works well and it reads well for the viewer that's seeing it, or the person that's looking to purchase. And I think that is one of the main things to keep in mind is how can I tie these in together and make it more appealing. And that's one of the ways that you can do that. And that tail just works wonders of the different things that you could do. You could tie it in with text. If you're doing, holiday designs, you could, put a Christmas tree limb through here, like the branch, and have like an ornament coming off. There's so many different things that you could do. So it's absolutely fantastic. And I think you did a great job, Tara. So kudos to you. The next one up is Emma. And I think this is one of the first times Emma's been featured in the videos. On the Facebook group, Emma said that before she got her iPad and before she got Procreate, she mainly did acrylics on canvas. And you can tell she definitely has a painterly style and has used acrylics in the past. So you don't see any, hard outlines that are just colored in with a cartoon style. It's a very acrylic approach to the brush strokes here, and you'll see the multiple use of colors here gives a nice sense of shadows and highlights to the way that the fur falls down, and then it trails into this darker section here. Absolutely love the highlights that are added here into the eyes as well as the nose. You'll see the nose has a couple of different shades of white in here, which really builds that nose up, makes it three-dimensional, and has a lot of depth and dimension to it. So it looks really good there. Same thing with the paws or the claws here. The use of highlights here really makes those three-dimensional and believable, and I think it works really well. Of course, that's one of my favorite things about the iPad and digital art in general is I've done a lot of painting in the past. I've done sculpting, but the iPad is so great because you do not have any supply costs. So of course you've got the upfront cost of the iPad or any drawing tablet you're using, but instead of doing something like this and having to buy brushes and paints and canvases, this is your supply cost. It's already covered. So you have that one-time investment and you don't have to have all these supplies laying around, number one, taking up space, but number two, that you have to pay for. And you can see you can still make some really cool painterly style stuff that you would usually achieve with brushes and paints and canvases right here on your tablet. So absolutely love it, Emma. Grand job. I love it so much. Next one up is Linda's, and Linda posted this in the groups and I absolutely loved it. I said at the time, this is one of my favorite ones. It's super cute. I can see this one really coming from like an 80s children's book or children's illustrations. It just kind of has that wholesome, cute look to it. And I think somebody had mentioned, I can see this on mugs or on greeting cards, and I 100% agree. This one really has that look to it. And then Linda said, you know what, you guys like it, but I'm not done. And then she ended up posting this one. So I'm going to toggle back and forth between these two so you can see the two different designs. Of course, she kept everything the same as far as positioning of the body and the characters go, but she really worked a lot on the colors. She worked a lot on the line weight. If you look at the head on this, the first one was super thick, and when she went and did the second one here in the revision, she's got the line weight here being really thin, and then it goes thicker around this bottom part, and it looks really fantastic. The shadows here are done really nice, and you see this texture build up around. I'm not sure exactly what brush she used for that, but I think it works really well. And the first one I was impressed by, but the second one just blew me away, and it looks even better. So fantastic job. The one recommendation that I would give is if I've got multiple characters on a single panel design like this, which you do, especially when they're the same type of character, so you've got the mom with the babies, I would try to make it a little bit more cohesive between the three different characters. And I don't really mind the difference in the colors of the babies to the mom. The one thing that I think kind of is a little bit jarring looking at it is the eyes. I would probably just make all of the eyes look like the mom's. So you've got this bigger white section in the center. So I would probably go through these. And of course this one, these are all round, and this one is almost an almond shape, which I think this one stands out the most as kind of looking off just because it's so much different. But I would make these more like that. And then to kind of tie it all into, the pupils actually have those kind of like this looking at the mom. So these are kind of the the babies that are still attached to the mom, and they depend on her, need her, and all their attention is focused on the mom providing for them, and it kind of tells a story along with that too. So that's probably the only change that I would make there. But the changes that you made between the first and the second are absolutely phenomenal, and I was blown away just between the two. So good job, Linda. I loved it. Next one up and last one for today is Phil. And I think this is the first time Phil's been featured too. And Phil's I love because this overall shape, it just swirls around with so much motion. It really has that kind of dynamic motion to it. So it has a lot of kinetic energy build up in it that really works well for the design. I think Phil's comment was on Facebook, it looks like a rat. It kind of looks like a rat. And you're right, Phil, it does kind of look like a rat. I will agree with you. But this brings up a good point, and if you guys have not watched the Let's Draw video from Monday that featured the Corgi, I talked about using reference photos and kind of tracing over top of those just to see exactly how a image is made up of different shapes. And so I incorporated this possum photo into this one just to show you the overall, I guess, positioning of the face here and the face on this one is kind of similar. They're both facing the same direction. And you'll see this head is made up of this oval or the circle up here. And the way the snout comes down, it's almost like a triangle off of that oval shape. So the oval comes down and then the snout comes off of there. And then of course you have the nose down here, but then you'll see too, the snout not only comes up here, it also comes up here around this eye. So you've got this eye here. Of course, we've got the beady ones here, but even if we make these bigger like Phil did, as long as you have that snout coming up and out and around that circle, as well as coming up this section here, you can have the ears in the same place, but you're going to make it look a lot more like a possum. You can even, have the mouth like Phil did here coming down, but it's going to look a lot more like a possum. Even if you were to extend this out to make it more just exaggerated and cartoon-like, you can do that too. And it's going to read more, like that possum that you're going for rather than the rat. And I think it all comes back to, instead of this this head having that round oval shape to it, and then the snout coming down off of there and then back up, you just had the snout come straight up into the head. So I think just using a reference photo on something like that just to see how the basic shapes are formed is something that can really lead you on the right track to get it to look like what you're going for. So those are the 4 designs from today. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you could, make sure you smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you can get alerted when I post new videos. Like I've said before, art block is a real thing. It can happen. If you don't know what to draw, look around you, get ideas. That's what I did for this week's art challenge word. I didn't know what to give you guys today, and my wife is out in the kitchen right now slaving away, and she's making banana bread. So this week's word is banana. So let's see what you guys can do. You can make a cartoon banana. You can make a still life banana. You can make a banana sitting next to a cat and call it a Shane Dawson banana. I don't care. I want to see what you guys do. So banana's the word. Go over to Keep Creating and post your designs. I want to see them. As for me, I can be found online, bjdell.com, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at bjdell. So until next time, keep creating.